evolution of the teacher.
Okay. For teachers of ancient tribes, we found a couple of tribes like the Aztecs and the Incas. For the Aztecs, children were schooled by their parents up to the age of 14, and then after that, boys went on to advanced learning or were taught military studies. Women stayed home, well, young girls stayed home and were taught by their mothers about home care and raising children. For the Incas, mostly upper class people went to school, and they were educated by
Amotus.
yeah, something like that. They were wise old men that were chosen by royalty. They would teach history and culture and religion, all that good stuff. And then if some of the general population did go to school, they didn't get the same education that the royalty did. In ancient civilization, usually it was the priests or prophets that would educate children. So pretty much children were taught mostly about religion, and education was very strict and based on religion. The Dark Ages turned into the Roman Catholic Church would educate children. 1330, 5% of the population could read and write. Only lords were taught how to read and write, and some kingdoms had laws banning serfs from being educated.
John Adams, okay. John Adams, he never really liked school his whole life, so when he was younger he wanted to be a farmer. And he ended up going to Harvard in 1751, where he graduated 15th out of 25, and he had a bachelor in arts degree. Then he taught in Worcester, Massachusetts, and sometimes in class he had a bad habit of picking the smartest kid in class and then having them teach the class while he would sit at his desk and read and write. And he always wanted to feel like he had something better with his life and that he wanted to make a giant impact on the country. So he ended up going into law in 1758. And then there's Froebel. He created the idea of activity-based learning, and he opened a Play and Activity Institute in 1840, which was later named kindergarten. The curriculum consisted of three things: toys for sedentary creative play, games and dances for healthy activity, and observing and nurturing plants in a garden for stimulating awareness of the natural world. It was the first form of education before elementary school. Teachers in colonial America. Teachers were usually white males. Very few schools, while the colonies were first being established. Educational textbooks weren't created until 1690. After 1650, more schools were being created and started straying away from teaching religion. Schools started focusing more on math and science, and because the colonies were still being established, there was a lack of national education standards. All the schools in the colonies were teaching different things. They weren't equal with each other. And today, teachers are predominantly white females. It's a huge change. 4 million private and public school teachers today. There's a supply and demand for teachers that vary place to place and for the subject. There's also national standards for education, unlike back in colonial America, and most teachers nowadays have at least a bachelor's, mostly a master's in education. And in order to become a teacher in New York State, you must complete the New York State Teaching Certification Exam.
And back to what was it, that last slide? With the schools focusing more on science and math, even now today, they still want teachers that have like science or math based.